What up, everybody? Y'all know what it is. Back for another episode. The Man Cave Sports Podcast. Y'all know what it is. Let's go. Drop that beat.
Drew on the keys, so this shit now.
Hey, yo. Hey, what up, everybody? Y'all know what it is. Welcome back to the Man Cave Sports Podcast. I'm your cool, calm, and collective host, Jae Jones. You know who I got with me. Y'all know the face. Y'all know who he is. Mr. Wildcard Mar from the IOW Sports Network. What's happening with you, Shawty?
Man, you already know it's just another BMF podcast takeover, IOW, Man Cave. You know, that's just what we do. We're going to pretty much make this a regular thing where you'll see IOW, 613 Faye, Man Cave, Four Corners, Four Up. You already know. It's a takeover. So, I mean, get used to the faces, get used to the collaborations. But, I mean, hey, it's always a pleasure to chop it up with y'all boys over here. You dig?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all already know what it is, man. Tell them where they can find you at before we get into everything. Wildcard, tell them where they can find you at.
Most deaf. You can always catch me on the IOW Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, and most importantly, the YouTube channel, IOW Sports 1 on Twitter. And then, of course, you can catch the Wildcard Mar personally at KC Wildcard Mar on the Twitter and Wildcard Mar on the Instagram. I be on there talking my yip yap, trying to cause controversy because that's what a Wildcard do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And y'all make sure y'all subscribe to 613 Faye Productions. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit them 5 stars, drop them comments. You know what I'm saying? We greatly appreciate it. You can hit us on social media at on Facebook, 613 Faye Productions, on IG, 613 Faye DMV, and on Twitter, 613 Faye. Come through. We got content for anybody, everybody. We got what you want, got what you need. Y'all can find me, Jae Jones, on all 4 social media platforms: Twitter, IG, Facebook, TikTok. Just type in Jae Jones, and you know.
You TikToking now?
I be on that.
You TikToking? You TikToking?
Yeah, I get a little. I don't do the dancing though. Young, I'm too. I don't be hitting the dance. I just be posting content.
JB over there.
Hey, yo. Nah, man. But I just be over there chilling, man. OnlyFans on the way, you know what I'm saying? There's stuff out here, prices up, economy them. You know what I'm saying? OnlyFans sports, man.
I ain't mad at you, dog. I got a mean belly roll. So I'm about to start my OnlyFans too. Shit, I ain't even mad at you, Bill.
Yeah. It's scripted though. Y'all gotta get that subscription though. It's scripted though. It's scripted. So all the shit I be doing, all that is gonna be scripted. So yeah,
cash rules everything around me. Belly roll, OnlyFans, dollar.
I got yeah. You know what I'm So come through. That's where y'all can find me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't St. Louis smoking no. That's enough. That's my man now. But how was your week though, man? How was everything?
Come on, man. I've been celebrating since Sunday.
I know.
I've been celebrating since Sunday, man. But man, okay. Unfortunately, I do gotta go to work still. So I mean, besides that, man, man, I've been cooling. Great week of sports. You know, personally, but you know, just as a commentator that likes to throw his own opinions out about sports, man, it's been real dope to see a lot of movement. Of course, you know, the Australian Open had just finished. WNBA. There's been a whole bunch of great things that have been happening this week.
It's a lot to keep up with. And man, and since you brought it up, you know what I'm saying? Let's jump into the Australian Open.
Yeah.
10-time champion Novak Djokovic wins the Australian Open. He defeated Stephon. I'm gonna chop this up.
I know. That's why I'm glad you did it,
Stephonis. I
not me.
wish G was here. Stephonis, to something with a T. He beat him in, I believe, in 3 sets. So he down tied with Rafael Nadal with 22, winning 22 majors.
He mopped him. He mopped
Yeah,
him.
he got him about the way.
Get
And
up out of there.
again, that's his 10th time winning the Australian Open, man. Wild card, man. What's your thoughts on this historic moment?
I mean, Novak. You think it's literally that group right there: Novak, Rafael Nadal, and then you could put Roger Federer in there, of course. Yeah, that was like the trio of men's that's pretty much been revolving door of who's going to win that tournament. Some missed because of injuries, some missed because of personal time or whatsoever. But between them three, it's literally been, a pretty much a battle for supremacy. Yeah, for the number one spot. And that whole time now, those three were battling. On the women's side, it was just Serena. So let's be honest about that. But
and Venus,
Williams sisters.
The Williams sisters.
But now Novak just added another championship. Obviously that's good for his career because he's on the backside of his career. Getting on the downslope of his prime. So it's always to add a few more championships to your legacy, especially when you're not going to be at the top of that men's side of tennis in 3 to 5 years. Who's even know if he's even playing in 3 to 5 years? He probably don't even know that. But hey, he's a monster. He's a beast. And man, it's funny we talking about Australian Open because last time I was chopping it up with y'all, we were talking about it, and I was hoping Coco Gauff was going to do it. And
I know.
Just Boo Boo couldn't do it, man.
Yeah, she got knocked out the singles and the doubles, bro. Like she lost both, and it's unfortunate, but I mean it's still an early season. You know what I'm saying? We're still pulling for, we're still rooting for. Just give her more motivation to come back stronger and do her thing. But yeah, me and G was also rooting for Francis Tiafoe as well, and he got knocked out as well. So it's tough. Unfortunately, they went out shortly after we wanted them to win. Novak Djokovic, for real, he's won the last 10 out of 16 Australian Opens, and he's won the last 4 times Djokovic has played in the Australia Open or Wimbledon. He is left with the trophy. So Buddy is hot. He looked good the other night. When he did win, it wasn't even close for real. So he's still gonna keep it going. He's looking forward to another. I can't remember the next tournament, but he's looking forward to the next tournament where he's been pretty successful there as well. So,
dominance, man.
Dominance, bruh. We watching these athletes go, into their late 30s, man. They doing their thing, man. They doing their things.
Yeah.
On the women's side, as you mentioned, Coco didn't win it. A lady by the name of, again, I'm gonna chop these names up.
It'd be the damn Russian and Yugoslavian names.
Yeah, man. They get a little. I ain't even gonna go to the doubles and all that, the Japan names and all that. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that one for G. That's G's task when he get back. But Aryna Sabalenka defeated Alina Rybakina, 6-3, 6-4. She defeated her in 2 sets.
Just so y'all know, this is what happened when I had people from the hood trying to pronounce these Russian names. All right, we try now.
We try. I'm saying,
we try.
Just give you an idea. You can go Google it, go look on ESPN on your apps or whatever.
Hey, you get the app. You try it.
Yeah, you try. Ask Siri to say that for you. But she won it. She won it in 2 sets. So congratulations to her. Shout out to her. Shout out to all the winners of the Australian Open, man. You want to give your thoughts on the overall? I don't know. Did you get a chance to watch? I know it was on a different time zone.
Yeah, because it's literally like that Australian Open is going on at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah,
but I'm usually up at that time, but I'm going to work, so it's like I really didn't get a chance to really peep it. But congratulations to both winners of the men's and women's Australian Open. But come on, Coco. It's your time to take the throne, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Come on,
Come on,
Coco. I
Coco.
know she ready. A little bit more motivation for her. A little bit more motivation for her.
Yeah. She needs some
So,
motivation. It's all right.
But speaking of women on the court, we got the WNBA free agency has popped open. It's available now, and man,
Come on, man. Hey, why Candace Parker really, Candace?
man, if y'all haven't heard, Candace Parker has went to the Las Vegas Aces. Brianna Stewart is going to New York City, as they like to say. She's joining Sabrina Ionescu and Jonquel Jones, who was just traded there from the Connecticut Sun. So, wild card, those two names are kind of like the biggest splash so far. What's your thoughts on these signings right here?
Hey man, I'm just looking at Candace. I'm like, you joined the world champs? Like
They tried to compare it to kind of like KD kind of.
Well, I mean,
I read an article.
You kind of have to, though. I know. I'm just saying. Look, okay. Well, Candace she just won in Chicago a couple of years ago.
In 2021.
Yeah. So, look,
with the Scott 2021.
I can see the comparisons of calling KD because Candace Parker is probably one of the best phenomenal talents in the WNBA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But she hadn't won a ring. KD hadn't won a ring.
No,
that joint.
Well, that is the slight difference where KD hasn't had a championship, but it's still when you go ring chasing, when you are one of the best talents in the league and you hop on to a stacked card team, like that's the ultimate ring chasing. Like it really is. So I can see the comparison as the exact same thing. Like, and you know, I've had that argument like, Warriors didn't really need KD, but I mean, they were 73-19 the year before.
But they couldn't beat that Cavs. Yeah, I mean, I feel weird. It is, man, and you see kind of like a shift, like you getting those power teams in the WA format, in the WNBA format, because like I said, like Brianna Stewart went to New York.
Yeah, she went to New York. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised you see them in the finals. I mean,
man, just give me 7 games, bro. That's all I want. I know they don't do 7 games, but they only go 5. But I would love to see 7 of that. Bro.
Don't be surprised because I mean, like, let's be honest about the WNBA. It's really not it's not you're gonna see parity like you do in the NBA, where you go to the West right now, you could probably pull 8-9 teams that are above 500, and you're like, you never know who's going to end up in the Western Conference Finals. You really don't.
Right.
But the WNBA, but here's what I do say. Now that you got pretty much 2 powers in both in the East and both in the West, now that you got 2 powers and they're separated by conference, this is your time to market the hell out of your product with these 2 teams and make sure that, let's get eyes on our product. And if we just got to just use the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces as our 2 keys of promotion, then so be it.
They got to be everywhere, bro.
Because right now you literally got a super team in the Aces and you got a super team in the Liberty. Market the hell out of your product, and if you do it right, because this could literally be almost the WNBA's version of Magic versus Bird.
Yeah.
And they'll have to find out which players they want to use. Obviously, I think you use Sabrina Ionescu out of for the Liberty. You probably use who would you use on the Ace? Asia,
yeah.
So that would be your Bird versus Magic rivalry. That would be also your 2 franchises, your Lakers, your Celtics, your Aces, your Liberty, and people don't realize how that rivalry saved the NBA. Why not use this as your chances, that same thing, to save the WNBA? Yeah, really should think about it. And y'all should go ahead and cut the check to IOW and 613 when y'all decide to use that idea too. Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead, WNBA. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do that right there. CTC, baby. And just to let y'all know, I know, like you said, the WNBA, a lot of people haven't been really on to it. I just want to break down the type of player Candace Parker is. I mean, I feel like that's a household
Baller.
name, but for those
Baller.
who don't know, she's a two-time WNBA MVP, two-time WNBA champion with the Sparks and the Chicago Sky, seven-time WNBA All-First Team, seven-time WNBA All-Star, one Defensive Player of the Year, and she's been to WNBA Finals.
She's gonna
So
go down as a legend.
she's a legend. And then Breanna Stewart, two-time WNBA champion with the Seattle Storm, 2018 WNBA MVP, two-time WNBA Finals MVP. She won the first ever Women's WNBA Commissioner's Cup MVP. She was the 2022 scoring leader.
Baller.
And yeah, man, she was named to the WNBA's most top 25 players and one of the 10 players that's currently active. And she's a five-time WNBA All-Star selection. I mean, that's just some of her accolades. She's got more and more and more.
Mhm.
But these two players are definitely like,
Yeah.
heavyweight players. You can use Stewie. You can use Stewie. I know that you can use Stewie in Asia because last year they were battling it out for MVP player. I'm sorry, MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. They were both battling. Asia Wilson ended up winning the MVP, and Stewie won Offensive Player of the Year. So you can use, if you don't, you can use Stewie and Asia. They about the same age. They've been battling, going at it for a while. So like you said, just use these two teams to constantly push and promote. The Mystics, I'm trying to see them. The Mystics hometown team here. They're definitely, they got a mob too. They got a squad. They actually open up against the Liberty, and I'm trying to get tickets to that game because that shit's gonna be fire. So it's a great time, man. It's a great time to start watching the WNBA if you haven't started already. Get to know some of these.
Hey, we watch
players.
all sports, y'all. So, but
I'm trying to tell you.
But for the common folk, in order for them to get buying into the product, man, WNBA, y'all gotta get y'all
The marketing,
your marketing and your public relations teams on point. Like y'all been
they getting there. The numbers got a little better. Numbers got better last year because we were talking about it last year. They were growing, they were getting better and getting better. So hopefully this year they continue to go in the right direction and they get the recognition that they need and that they deserve. Also too, you got Allie Quigley, who is she's opted to sit out the 2023 season. You got Azor Stevens, who's she agreed with the Los Angeles Sparks. Lexi Brown, who is also re-signing with the Sparks as well. Two key free agents out there that y'all probably know and heard of. Liz Cambridge is still out there, and Brittany Griner is also a free agent as well. So should be interested to see where those two ladies land. So
Liz Cambridge is probably the one WNBA player that baffles me the most, bro. Because it's like it's crazy because I've seen footage of her where I can see her boss the paint. And then there's other times where she goes soft. And for her to literally be on a few of these franchises that are being championship material and she can't stay on the roster. Yeah,
I think it's her personality, bro. I think the stuff that popped off with the Aces. I think it was
a championship team. I know you can't stay on the roster.
And she got into, I think she had some off the court issues that ended up getting her traded to the Sparks. And then she had some stuff. She's popped off at the mouth and said some stuff amongst the Sparks. And they ended up cutting her mid-season. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
Wait.
Yeah.
So
like, bye.
she said some stuff in the Olympics, like some racial slurs and stuff like that. In the Olympics,
she gonna find herself playing overseas.
Yeah. So I think that's what it comes down for her. I don't think it's her skills on the court because, like you said, she can ball. She can definitely hoop. And she's definitely an impact player, but I think it's that personality, that character. I think she's probably got that locker room, problematic label on
personality,
her.
Probably. Yeah,
that's been labeled, and it's hard for her to stay on the team.
And Brittany Griner's that's a obviously because of the situation she just dealt with but she was already a big name before that. But just this part of her career is like she's dealing with all this, all
Yeah.
that whole media thing that went down with her being incarcerated over in Russia. I, I'm looking at like where's her mental at in all this? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a very traumatic ordeal she just dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And like, is she ready to play ball yet? Like,
I probably think. I mean, I think it'll be an outlet for her. I think it'll be
yeah.
something to kind of
I can see that.
help her put. I don't want to say put it behind her, but kind of just take her mind
Move
off of that. I
on.
mean, you'll
Yeah.
never forget that experience, but
Oh yeah.
or that traumatic experience. But I think it's something like it'll feel back to being normal, like being on the court, being amongst your sisters and everything like that. My oldest son was just telling me, I don't know how accurate this is or not, but he was saying that, part of her the resigning process for her is like they're worried about her safety because the WNBA, like, they don't have the charter flights, I mean the private jet flights, like the NBA. So her safety is, the biggest concern when it comes to her. So I think they're trying to make sure before she signs that her safety, where she won't get, harassed by the public, is in place, which makes sense. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see where she signs at. But yeah, she can
Or when
ball, and
she
I
even
think
comes back, like right
she said she
away.
wanted to come back. I think
Yeah.
that was one of the
True.
the first public statements. One of the first public statements she said is that she was going to come back and play.
Yeah.
And
I hope she
I don't
does.
know. Yeah, I do too. I mean, I don't know if it'll be with Phoenix, but we'll see where she lands at. So I'm interested. I mean, it'd be nice if she came to the Mystics. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, you trying to recruit? I see.
I'm just trying to recruit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here. Don't mind me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I ain't mad at you, Pimp. I ain't mad at you,
Yeah,
man.
man. Just some other news. I know we were talking about the Aces. De'Erica Hamby. She was traded to the Los Angeles Sparks, but she has a the WNBA is investigating her situation. She said the Las Vegas Sparks treated her unprofessional and unethical after she announced that she was pregnant last September. So we hope all works out for her and everything works out for her. But she's definitely a key figure too. The Sparks might be nice too, as well as they kind of get their team back together as well. But that was a good trade. Hopefully she gets a fresh start and she can do what she does. So yeah, man. Well, speaking of the on the court, man, I don't know if you know, but the NBA All Stars, the fellas, they just announced the reserves, man, and I don't know if you saw who made it or
Yeah, they finally announced Joel Embiid, who should have been starting in my opinion anyway, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Oh no, talk about it.
I'm
that's
just
what we're
saying,
here
like,
for, man.
I'm just saying, like, I don't understand how Joel Embiid, probably the most dominant center in a pretty much a dying position in the NBA, isn't a starter. I don't get that. First of all, the center position is the value is year by year. The more and more that teams keep shooting so many threes, the center position decreases in value. It decreases in importance. But at this point, you got Joel Embiid, who's pretty much, thriving in this whole transition of the way that the game is going. I'm telling you right now, Shaq could probably make it in today's league, but he would not be the figure he was when he played.
Yeah, that's because the game is drastically changed.
Because the game's not played where it was when he played. The game was played in the paint where he dominated. Like the game right now is so all about making sure that you can shoot. Like teams would literally shoot Shaq out of the offensive scheme.
Oh, could you imagine Shaq shooting threes, just coming there, like you see her hit the step back like Embiid, like that's, man, that, like, it's crazy because you see a lot of the big men have to make that transition, like Embiid, DeMarcus Cousins, Brooke Lopez, Robin Lopez, all these dudes were like,
Big Cat.
Cat, all these guys were for the most part like in the post kind of players. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They came in that era where you still had to have post presence, and now Brook Lopez is out there hitting
Yeah.
threes like a guard, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
If you
So
can't shoot, you can't be on the court no more.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's just crazy. I mean, I don't
and
know, man.
that's why you see so many high scoring games. That's part of the reason you see so many high scoring games. Players are dropping 40, 50 like it's 20 and 30, bro. Like before you used to see players like they drop 40 and 50, it'd be like every now and then, but
Yeah.
like now it's like everybody dropping 40 and 50, bro. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It would be hard for Shaq to get in a championship type of situation if the offense
Man,
ran through him. It'd be
run up
hard.
and down the court, boy. Woo, it'd be gas. But could you imagine Shaq and the Golden State's offense, bro, the way they run, or the Nuggets or something like that? Like
They would literally gas them out because what they would do is they would have their 4 and 5 stand at the 3-point line, and what are you going to do, Shaq? You're not going to come out here and guard us? You better bring your big ass out here, because if you don't, you're going to be sitting on the bench. Because what's your coach going to say? Stop leaving them open at the 3-point line. Get out there, close out. And he go, oh, I gotta get to the bench. Okay, and then next you know,
that's a good Shaq joint right there.
yeah, no, I'm tired. Yeah, we know you tired, you big some bitch. You
Oh
ain't in
man.
shape.
Oh man.
Anyway,
And just to recap what Mars talking about, the reserves were named. So here are the East All-Star reserves. As Wildcard mentioned, you got Joel Embiid.
put some
You got
respect on them B. I don't know
you
what's up with
got
this, man.
yeah, he still might not get that MVP this year though. DeMar DeRozan, Jaylen Brown, Bam Adebayo, and Drew Holiday, Julius Randle, Tyrese Halliburton, and that's it for your East All Stars or reserves. And for the West, you got Ja Morant, you got Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis from Sacramento, my man Shea Gilgeous Alexander,
Deserve
Paul
it, deserve
George.
it, deserve it.
Yes, that's
Throw
my
some
man
man,
SGA.
throw some love on SGA big time, man.
Yeah,
SGA is sitting there down in
Hooper
that
boy.
boy hooping in that damn dumps of Oklahoma City.
They gonna be
And
nice though. Don't sleep. OKC and Orlando, mark me in the next two years. They gonna be nice.
hey man, hey. The only problem is when you got teams like that hoard a lot of talent, but they ain't worth the damn as in winning wise. They end up turning out to be the damn farm system for the rest of the NBA. So we'll see if SGA is even going to be there in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, let's see. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, definitely shout out SGA. I'm a huge fan of his. I like to watch him play. He definitely deserved it. I'm glad he got recognized for that. Dame Lillard, he made it. And Laurie Marketing and Jaren Jackson Jr. So those are your West Reserve All Stars. Um, I like the West Reserve. I mean, the East is pretty dope, but I like the West joint a little better
Yeah,
though.
yeah. The
But
West got some hoopers on there. I mean, it's all cool and all. I mean, we know how the All-Star gonna go is,
yeah,
it ain't gonna be worth the damn worth watching for the first 3.5 quarters, and then they gonna turn it up about halfway through the fourth, and then that's when you're gonna see, the intensity pick up, which is cool. I mean, it does its purpose. It has its purpose. They're gonna do some silly off the wall, try to, alley oops and dunks and ball handling skills, but they did change the format this year where they're going to pick right before the game,
yeah.
like old school on the yard, and it'll be like, hey, pick, and
Yeah,
so
it's been a
I
little.
think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just like pickup, like street ball, man.
Mm-hmm.
The WNBA, the NBA has a great way of kind of like making pretty good adjustments. They still
Better
got
than
a
the
little.
damn Pro Bowl.
Yeah, we're gonna get there too. But like I remember like even the one when they did the tribute to Kobe, like I thought that All-Star game was pretty dope too. I'm just like again, I'm just looking forward to seeing what the jerseys look like, man. But
Yeah.
the All-Star game has been pretty dope, man. You gonna I'm hoping to see a lot more of these younger cats because we know LeBron is gonna give. Oh man, they said the jerseys is ugly. Damn. Oh man. But I'm looking forward to seeing like SGA. I know Ja probably might not play as much. I'm gonna ask you right now. No, I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna hold that. Get closer till we get to the NBA All-Star weekend. I'll ask you that a little bit later.
Bet.
All right, man. We got some NFL news, bro. We got some NFL. I'm sorry. Before we get to the news, let's talk about the championship games.
Ooh, championship
I
weekend.
know
Ooh.
what you going. This is. I know you had
Ooh.
a great weekend as a fan, but I know it didn't start like that. But
No.
before we get to the Kansas City game, just talk to me about your thoughts in regards on the Philly and the San Francisco game.
Man, it's I was sitting there watching that game and it was starting to turn out to be a good little game. Philly got away with an incomplete pass. And San Francisco, I don't know who's in charge of telling Shanahan to take a look at that. They got to be quicker with the trigger. Got to be quicker than that. And but Philly did smart. Devontae Smith did smart. He's like, yo, come on. He did the signal as in, hey, let's run a play because I'm not sure I caught that. Let's go. So hey, smart by Philly because they end up scoring on the drive. And then San Francisco, they rebutted with McCaffrey touchdown run, and then I think Philly got stopped.
Scored.
I think Philly scored, and then next you know, Brock Purdy got the injury. I don't know why you put a tight end on Hassan Reddick coming off the end. I don't know what you were thinking on that. You got to come up with a better blocking scheme than that. That just didn't work. It's a defensive against a tight end. Come on now. Tight ends are meant to help left tackles with defensive ends.
Blocking, chip blocking, things like that.
Not take them on
straight or whatever. Nah.
You're not take them on straight
and
up.
Hassan Reddick has 16 sacks this year. This isn't like
on the team that has the most sacks team wise as a defense. Like, come on.
60 out of the 78 sacks I believe they had was just like their front four. It wasn't even blitzes or anything like that.
No, front four. Philly did not have to blitz a lot this year. But my thing is I don't know how Kyle Shanahan, who's usually smarter than that and usually a better offensive coach, I don't know what his protection scheme was. Either that or Brock Purdy missed it and just wasn't reading the defense right. Who knows? Regardless, it happened. And that knocked their chances of winning down. All right. Now, when Josh Johnson comes in, now don't get me wrong, Josh Johnson, first few series, he struggled. But as you saw it, he's starting to get the offense going. And then next, he gets knocked out with the concussion. And since the fact that Brock couldn't throw, the Josh Johnson injury took the 49ers chances all the way down to 0. They had no chance after that of winning that game.
They didn't have a chance with Josh Johnson when he got in the game. If you ask me, I like Josh Johnson, but I just
I'm with you. I don't think they would have won, but I think they at least would have been in the game because if you look at the other side, Philly didn't really offensively blow the doors off of that San Francisco defense. They scored because that was a tired defense. They got no help on the offensive side
at all. And matter of fact, they went up once Philly went up 14-7. Josh Johnson got hit. He fumbled the ball. And then San Francisco went and scored 21, and it was 21-7. And at that point in time, you already kind of knew that the game was over. Like, unless Philly committed some turnovers and things like that, you knew the game was over for the most part. Josh Johnson, like I said, man, that's a unfortunate situation to come into because that defense was clicking, bro. Like they was clicking. They was on all fours, man. They had no issues getting to the quarterbacks, and like you said, they were just at that point they just ran the ball, tried to get the ball in the playmakers' hands. That Purdy threw 2 passes or a pass after he came back in the third quarter,
and you saw he just couldn't do it.
He just couldn't do it, man. So let me ask you this then: if you put your general manager hat on, who's your starter going into next season between Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, because we've already been informed that Jimmy Garoppolo once again is not coming back.
Yeah,
So
Jimmy not coming back.
and I don't know if you've seen, both Trey and Jimmy was on the sideline kind of laughing as they was going through this quarterback crisis on the sideline. Jimmy Garoppolo was like, "That ain't my problem." He was over there laughing and smiling. So who would you have as your starter week 1 for the 49ers, bro?
Man, I'll be quite honest. It scares me because Brock's going to be out for 6 months. So you're talking about right around the end of training camp, possibly right before regular season. He should possibly be back. Um, I would honestly put Trey Lance as the starter, but I think personally, that offense looks different with Brock Purdy in it and Brock Purdy running it. The moment he's healthy, and if Trey Lance isn't playing well, I probably would switch to Brock Purdy. I would probably start the season in that scenario, depending, unless you're unable to persuade a high-profile quarterback your way, But I would probably rock with Trey Lance, and then, hey man, you're not playing well. Brock, you healthy? All right, let's go, Brock.
But so this is my thing, because we really haven't seen Trey Lance really in this offense, so we really don't know what to expect from Trey Lance. He played a game or two and got a broken ankle, so we don't. They traded up, traded out the draft picks to get Trey Lance. So it's just like it's a tough situation. Like you said, Brock Purdy, he's been diagnosed with a UCL tear. So like you said, he's gonna be out for 6 months. But it's tough to make that assessment because you don't know what you have in Trey Lance. But I'm like you. I think you start with Trey, and then you hate for him to have to be looking over his shoulder with Brock Purdy, but that's what he's gonna have to be doing this year, because it's after this year, or next year.
This year 3. This is year 3. I know he didn't play much in his rookie season. Once Jimmy got hurt, and he pretty much came in just to he was the backup, but then he ended up getting nicked up a little bit. But then last year, being named a starter, got hurt second week, and that's unfortunate, but here's why you don't give up on Trey Lance. He's not to me like Zach Wilson. Like, I think we got enough data size on Zach Wilson to really make a nice assessment on what you should do with that quarterback position in New York. Trey Lance, I don't think we still, like you said, it's not enough really much data to move on. It's not enough.
You gave up.
Exactly. For what you gave up. You gotta see it out. And give him the opportunity to lose the job. If that's a way to say it. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool, man. And then moving on to your game, you know what I'm saying? Hey, rolling with the cheap QB, that's probably gonna be Brock. That's gonna be Brock. Well, they both on rookie deals though.
Well, the only problem is Trey Lance is the 3rd overall pick, so his cap is going to be higher than Brock, who was Mr. Irrelevant at the 7th round pick. So it's Brock will be the cheaper option, but when you got an elbow injury for a quarterback and your timeline is 6 months, that's rehab. Then we got to talk about the actual mental part. Are you going to be ready to get ready to play football again? Are you going to be worried about your elbow and stuff like that? Because I mean, that's so pretty much on a quarterback, especially on the throwing arm, an elbow, wrist, hand, and shoulder injuries are always ones that you want to have great concern about, because you don't want to make sure that anything that was surgically repaired is something that can happen again, and just there's something that you got to re-injured, and you got to keep messing with that. So that's something that me personally, I always always keep an eye on injuries with the quarterbacks. So
Yeah.
can't rush him back though.
I take they would I'm sure the 49ers are gonna keep both quarterbacks on the roster with the injury issues they've had within the last couple years at
but
quarterback.
Hell, the way it's looking, you're gonna have to make sure you got 4.
Yeah, well, they getting rid of Garoppolo. I guess you keeping Josh? Are you keeping Josh Johnson? I guess you should after the way all this went down. You got to keep him, right?
He would definitely know the system more. So you
Right. Okay.
that'd be one less quarterback you would have to teach the system over again too. So I'd say you keep him. He'd be a veteran presence in the quarterback room, but hell, you might have to go into like the 5th or 6th round and just draft you a quarterback that nobody really thinking of, and
Yeah.
and just grab
Man.
them.
Yeah,
I mean,
they that's bad. I thought my team had bad luck with injuries, but damn.
yeah, that
Damn.
was just that, bro. They was getting hurt left and right as a squad. I'm just like, goodness, like man.
Yeah, and I mean key players. Man, so I don't think I've ever seen 2 quarterbacks get knocked out of a playoff game. I don't think I've ever seen that. But
Never.
2022, 2023, we here. We here. So, man, like we said, man, moving on to your game, Kansas City and Cincy, man. Cincy was popping their shit, man. Eli Apple was talking this shit, man. They rolled up the Arrowhead, man. Y'all sent them back home packing. Well, my man Frank Clark said, man, I don't know what they was thinking coming up here talking that trash, sending they bum ass back to Cincinnati. I said, ooh.
Hey, Frank Clark will drop
spicy
gems. Yo, he drops gems on his Twitter. If you don't follow his Twitter, go follow his Twitter. He drops some gems.
I think that was Frank Clark that said that.
No, Frank Clark would definitely say some shit like that. And then of course, the trophy was getting presented, and Travis Kelce said, know your role, Cincinnati mayor, and shut your mouth.
I love
jabroni.
Gave shout out to The Rock right there, man. He came on, he said, for the Cincinnati mayor.
Yeah.
Know your role and shut your mouth. I said, hey, my man,
jabroni.
Talk your shit, man. Yeah,
jabroni.
Man.
He called him jabroni and everything.
And everything. So, yeah, man. I love it, man. I love all the trash talking that went through with it. We'll definitely talk about
that game lived up to the hype.
Yeah, it definitely did, man. Pat, how did you like Mahomes? The way that he looked.
Here's the deal. I'm still curious on why Andy Reid had Mahomes attempting to throw on that high ankle sprain at least like 40 plus times. The running game was atrocious.
I was looking for that too, man.
The running game was not only was it atrocious, it was they barely tried to run it. Like Isaiah Pacheco only had like 10 carries. Jarek might have had like 6 or 7. And I'm like, when your quarterback has a high ankle sprain, the best help for him is a running game.
We've been saying it all playoffs, man. All playoffs.
Run the damn ball.
Run the ball, man.
And I was surprised. Cincinnati struggled running the ball. So really, if you really look at this game, this was really the game that it was on Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes. And you see who won the game because Mahomes made less mistakes. All right.
Yeah.
Made less mistakes. And the interceptions were not good for Joe. The fumble wasn't good for Pat neither, but he made less mistakes. And you also look at look, just let me say this as a person who talks on podcasts, and I want to sound intelligent. I want you to take my take serious. Please stop with the damn this team won because of the officials. Can we stop with the noise? Because I hear
it's scripted, bro. The fuck is you talking about? It's scripted.
It's scripted, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's scripted, okay? And I had a former NFL superstar to tell me that too. Okay, so they told me it's scripted. So it is the referees. This was supposed to happen the way that it happened.
Yeah, we'll discuss Arian Foster and his foolishness in a second. But my thing is look, you got to, when you look at the frame, when he pushed Mahomes out of bounds, the fact of the matter is it wasn't the biggest push in the world. But guess what? It's a quarterback. They're going to protect the quarterbacks. You can't put your team or yourself in that position to even be that close to Mahomes on the out of bounds line. You can't do it because you can't don't get close to him in the out of bounds line. You're going to put yourself in a sticky situation to get you. And in that time that it happened, it was bad for them. I know people were making fun of the third play redo. Look, I watched that game 3 times. The ref came out the corner. He tried to kill. He did blow his whistle, kill the play. Obviously, nobody heard it. The stadium's loud. Look, I'm not gonna make no excuses. The fact of the matter is, they replayed the down, and guess what? The Bengals got the sack, but you got called for holding because Eli Apple literally undressed him. So if you really want to be mad at Eli Apple. He held the hell out of MVS when your team just got the sack on the replay of the third down. So
they got the sack because he was holding. That was probably the read Patrick was going to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, MVS was cooking that game too.
That's what I'm saying. He made some big plays down the stretch of the game.
He was cooking.
Like you said, I had Pacheco in a parlay. I had him 50 yards over and one touchdown.
He got like 26 yards.
I know, man. They took my touchdown.
He got his touchdown taken off the board.
Yeah, too. I was pretty heated about that. But yeah, man, it lived up to what it was supposed to be. It was unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. On the late hit on the sideline, like you were talking about. I'm sure everybody has seen the clip of the Bengals teammate going in.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Like,
I didn't like
why,
that.
Why did he push the quarterback? I'm gonna say it like this. It's unfortunate now because it's cameras everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We normally wouldn't get like that inside sight view of when players are walking into the locker room at the end of the game. Like, we normally don't get that. And I just think it's frustrating, right? I mean, it's emotional. So, when you put a camera, we saw Richard Sherman do it to the 49ers with Crabtree when he was like, called him mediocre and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? These dudes are
bomb like Crabtree.
Yeah. So when these guys win or lose right after the game, you get that raw emotion, and I think that was what we saw. And that was I don't think he meant it towards them. It did seem like that, but I think it was just raw emotion. I think he even came out and said that he kind of regrets saying it and made that statement because he's just frustrated. But it's unfortunate that the young man he spoke about it. I like the fact that BJ Hill was right next to him as he was speaking to the media about it, trying to address the situation. He acknowledged it. He made a mistake. And that happens, you know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate it cost him. It's a lesson learned, but it was still a great game. Joe Burrow made some mistakes that that you gotta question, right? Like, he was constantly throwing in the double coverage, right? You know what I'm saying? I know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are like that. They catching traffic.
They won some of them, but they didn't win all of them.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying. The last one that drove through, I was like, oh, Joe, that one. You know what I'm saying? And he got picked and he played for it. So, it's just unfortunate, but it was a great game. I loved it. I enjoyed it.
You're used to it.
That's definitely messed up my picks because I actually picked against y'all. But hey, I was on to.
Just get used to it. I mean,
I don't want to get used to it because I want my team.
I'm saying get used to seeing Burrow and Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
For important games, every time they battle is going to have that game's going to have implications on it every time. It's going to mean something. It's going to have the fanfare. It's going to have the media attention, and it's going to have high implications on it. I don't know about you, but to me, that's 1 and 2 in the quarterback. Quarterback.
Yeah, man, I was going to ask you that too, man. But like, I think Burrow has taken over with not Joe.
With Josh Allen won, yeah.
Supposed to be because Josh Allen was supposed to be Mahomes and Allen, and Burrow has come and take that. Now it will be to see how long because that Cincinnati team, they're gonna have to start paying players, and some players might not get paid what they want and might be opted to leave. But I'm definitely with you right now. I got Mahomes at 1. I got Burrow at 2.
Yeah.
And then Josh at 3.
Yeah.
And things like that. So, we
But
got.
if Josh Allen don't get right, he might start slipping past down that list.
Yeah,
He
because
might
he's got
start
the
slipping
offense.
down that
He
list.
got the he. It's no excuses for Josh Allen, bro. Like I know he said he had the elbow injury, but you was talking about with Purdy. You know he was dealing with that. Okay, his playoff record is starting to look
a little shaky.
but you know it might be one of those things, kind of like how can I say it, like you know when when the Bulls when they had Jordan, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of great players that didn't win rings because of Jordan, right? I think it might be similar to that with Mahomes, because Mahomes, we thought y'all losing Tyreek Hill, we thought that was gonna be an issue, and Patrick Mahomes was like, "Yeah, hold my beer, Slim," and he came out putting up even better numbers than probably what he did, you know, some years before. So I think Pat Mahomes is just on that tier level of quarterback play. And he's gonna stop a lot of quarterbacks from getting to Super Bowls. And there's a lot of good ones in the AFC, bro.
Yeah.
So
that list is long. That list is
yeah.
long.
So,
You're talking about 6, 7 quarterbacks deep on the AFC alone that you like.
yeah. So
oh wow.
He might stop a few of those players, man.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the Bengals, man, I don't know if you heard, just on a different note, Joe Mixon just they
I
just
heard.
put a warrant out for his arrest, man.
Unfortunate, man.
Yeah, man. For a menacing charge. So
This
they
look, to be honest, Jay, this is not a good look for him because obviously
of the
remember
situation in college.
exactly. It's not a good look because now you're looking at a second occurrence involving a female and pretty menacing, intimidating behavior. That at least that's what they're saying. Obviously, we don't know the details, but I'm just saying, y'all know how society looks at people that look like you and me. And when it comes to dealing with women and being menacing and being intimidating and how that moniker can easily be thrown on cats that look like you and me. We know
that's true
about the serious of this situation. So it may not seem serious, but for me personally, because it is Joe Mixon and the situation that he's already dealt with back in college, to me, this is a serious situation because you don't want to keep being painted as the angry brother, the angry domestic violent brother dealing with women, can't keep your hands. You don't want to be labeled as that. So this is not a good situation for Joe, man. It's unfortunate, man.
And we know how the NFL does, man. When it's time for you to re-up and get your deal and stuff like that, they're gonna use these incidents against you as being problematic. Again, like you said, locker room issues, and they'll hold you from getting your deals and things
This is what gets you up out of the league.
Yeah.
This is what gets you up out of the league.
According to ESPN, they did say a warrant has been issued for the arrest of Cincinnati's Bengals running back Joe Mixon on a complaint of a misdemeanor aggravated menacing charge. They said Mixon allegedly pointed a gun at an individual January 21st and said that the person should be popped in the face. So it's alleged. We don't know. I just seen it come across my phone, and we were talking about the Bengals. So just wanted to give y'all that update. We'll see how it plays out. Pray all is well for all of those that are involved, and we'll see what happens with Joe. Like you said, it's unfortunate this even came up. So, but now since it's two teams in the Super Bowl, we got the Super Bowl locked, which we got to mention features 2 black quarterbacks for the first time. Shout that out, your boy Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. It's off season for a lot of us, right? A lot of us ain't got the we can't feel that emotion like you feel, man, that excitement or whatever. But we in the off season, me and G, and we just were informed again the first day of Black History Month that Tom Brady has retired. again.
Again.
So, what's your thoughts on Tom? You think Tom is for real this time, or what's your thoughts on
Hey
Tom
man,
calling it a quits, man?
it's crazy because we had this conversation on the IOW Sports Show, and I told Mel, I said straight up, man, I looking at the video, I can see the emotions in it, so I can see, all right, he might mean it. But then at the same time,
Uh,
he acknowledged that this is his second go around, so he saw the humor in it and knew the severity of if he goes back against it this time that he definitely gonna get roasted for sure. So
yeah,
I think he's aware of that. Just looking at the post, but I'll say this. I'm not going to believe it until September comes around, week
man.
one starts,
God,
and he is not on the opening roster. Until
that's
then,
what I'm right there with you, bro. I said the same thing. I got a friend that's a Tampa fan, and shout out to him. He was in our fantasy football league. He's a Tampa fan, and I was like, bro, like, what's the deal? He was like, man, I'm happy because Tom kind of handcuffs your team, right? You go into the offseason never knowing what
if
he's
he's
gonna
going to be
do.
there, yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of happy that Tom is retiring, but he's like, man, bro, I'm not gonna believe that shit too. I don't think a lot of us are gonna believe it until opening day and he's not on the roster, man. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you like this, man. When I seen the video, I seen pain of knowing that like I gotta live like a regular life. You know what I'm saying? Like not I don't say regular life, like yeah, I gotta deal with family issues. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just like that. I seen and that's kind of like what I saw. But I mean, Tom Brady had a outstanding career. We all acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? I thought he actually should have retired after he, defeated y'all. What was that?
Yeah. 2020.
2020? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That'd have
thought
been
he
the
should
right
have
time to leave.
I thought that was the best time to leave. You were the first
Leave out on
quarterback.
top.
Yeah,
Leave
you
out
won
on
the
top.
Super Bowl, and you were the first quarterback to win a Super Bowl in your own stadium. I thought that was the perfect time to ride out into the sunset. But of course, we all know he came back. He came back, and they just had a horrible, horrible season. We know all the things that he dealt with personal wise, so it was just like, man, it was time, and I think Tom knows. Gronk welcomed him into retirement. Yeah, so I'm trying to tell you, man. That if you go back and watch that video, bro, Tom just looked like, man, I got to deal with all this, bro.
I got to deal with life now.
Yeah, I got a life without football, bro. I mean, we know he's going to Fox. He signed a 10-year deal for 365, but it's just
Big
like,
money.
man, yeah. So, but shout out Tom Brady, man, and to a wonderful career. I'm always gonna remember Tom Brady is throwing a pick against the Tennessee Titans.
His
That playoff
last game
ring,
as a
and
Patriot.
yeah, and I'm going to tell my grandkids that the Tom Brady threw that interception and the Titans won the Super Bowl off that pick. That's what I'm going to tell them right there, and I'm gonna get that framed and put in my house. But shout out to Tom, man. He had a hell of a career though, man. And speaking of a person who was retired and came back, I don't know if he technically was retired, but Sean Payton his is back to coaching, and the Broncos made a trade to get Sean Payton. The Broncos traded a first round pick of 2023 and a third round pick of 2024, and got Sean Payton in the third round pick back, man. Let's ride. This is what we wanted, right? This is Sean Payton.
Hey, Sean. Hey, look.
Sean Payton, Russ combo.
Yeah, but
Russ
Sean,
gonna cook again?
nah, man. I didn't told you
Was he
before.
just prep working?
Russ ain't supposed to be in the kitchen no more. Russ supposed to be a host, be the hostess, seat the people to their table, be the pretty look, be the pretty guy. All right, don't cook. No, we ain't having you because last time you was cooking, Russ, you almost set the damn place down on fire.
No, not the fire marshals.
Yeah,
Not the fire line.
had the damn fire department in here, had to put out the grease fire and shit. Like, come on, see, we can't have you cooking no more. You meant to be pretty, to be the face, because with the host is supposed to set the ambiance when you show up to the restaurant. Be like, oh, that's a nice looking quarterback you got there named Russell
Right.
Wilson. Yeah, okay. But that's it. That's all you're there for. Is just to set the ambiance and let the other
Damn.
people do it.
So you said
Come
Russ
on.
just a game manager now.
Look.
Huh? Always been a game manager.
Well, he always been a game manager. Let's be
Yeah, that's
honest. He's
true.
always been a host.
He had a few cooking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a.
Hey man, pouring milk on cereal ain't cooking, man. All right. So there was a couple of people that wanted cereal and milk at the breakfast buffet, but no, eventually they're gonna want an omelet, and we don't trust Russ with the flipping of the toppings in the egg. We don't do that. All right.
Is he prepping? Is he the prep cook?
No, we don't even
Just
let him do that.
Yeah.
Just because he might cut himself with he's damn sure liable to cut himself. So we can't have him prep him neither. So host. All right, we're gonna stick with a host, Russ. But look, your man Sean Payton gonna have his work cut out because we know what Russ is. Because let's be honest, Russ is the only thing that pretty much for the Denver Broncos situation that you gotta really take care of. They got pieces on offense. They're going to get some pieces back from injury. You got pieces on defense who is actual, solid defense that you got. Yeah, so it's definitely. You're not going into a very rebuild situation. You're pretty much going into a realignment situation where you just got to realign a certain things in the organization, and it starts with and it finishes with Russell Wilson. You got to realign a lot right there. All right. and we got to be honest about what Sean Payton is. A lot of victories in the regular season, a lot of playoff appearances, one Super Bowl win. And so, we got to be honest about what Sean Payton is. Within the last 20 to 25 years, he's probably one of the better coaches in the NFL. And so if there's any coach that's going to be able right now that can, scheme up, because this is about scheming, coming up with an offense that can put Russell in good spots and shield him from the horrible spots that is Russell Wilson. That's what you got to do.
But what is Russ's that's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, the formula was right. What it was in Seattle. Hey, run the ball, rush those maybe 15 to 17, 20 attempts a game. That was the formula. That's what got them to 2 Super Bowls. Should have won 2.
Right. Should have handed the ball off.
Should have handed the ball off.
Definitely should have handed it off.
So that's the formula. And Sean Payton is smart enough to come up with a good scheme that can come up with what we know. Russell Wilson has one of the prettiest deep throw footballs. All right. We know that Sean can put him in position to capitalize on that. Capitalize on the fact that you do have Jerry Jeudy. You do have Tim Patrick coming back, Courtney Sutton, who are 2 big receivers. They're both 6'2", 6'3-ish, 6'4-ish. So they're big receivers. So you got mismatches right there. You got 2 big receivers, and you got a good slot right receiver. You got a good receiving core. Obviously, Javonte Williams coming back for injury helps. Who's going to be a stud at running back for the next 8 years as long as he stays healthy. So, you really don't have to touch that much on the defense. You really don't.
Nah, you don't.
You don't have to touch much. You at that point in the defense, you add in pieces to make it more dominant. That's what you do.
I mean, they ain't really got no draft picks.
No,
for 2023.
No.
Hey. I don't know how much cap money they got right now to be able to add some of those pieces that you're talking about. I'm like you. I think Sean Payton will help Russ get back on track. He'll put him in position to be successful, right? You know what I'm saying? But
it's going to be a lot of play action. It's going to be a lot.
But their running game to me isn't. It's not where it should be right now. I know they got Javonte Williams, and I'm not sure the other guy they have, but I don't know if Sean Payton, because in New Orleans, he had Mark Ingram,
and Kamara.
He had Kamara. He had backs that could carry that
he
load.
Had Deuce McAllister,
all those guys. So
those type of running backs, Reggie, he had a nice Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
So whatever draft picks that they're not going to have a lot of high draft picks. So, but here's where their GM, their scouting team, and Sean Payton are going to earn their money. They're going to have to find the diamonds in the rough in the later rounds. Don't say it can't be done because I just saw the
Oh, it can
Chiefs
be done.
find Isaiah Pacheco in the
And I
seventh round.
like him, man. I like that little.
And they found him
And
in the seventh round. So
I mean, we just saw Brock Purdy
in the seventh
in
round.
the seventh round. I mean, what's my man's name? We're gonna talk about him in a little bit.
Hell, Tom Brady was found in the
what?
sixth round. Like
Yeah,
you can find talent in later rounds. This is
most
where
definitely.
they're gonna have to earn their money and do their jobs. You're just gonna have to be real tedious and real stern about your evaluation of talent. You just got to be realistic on what you're looking for, because that's the unfortunate part of taking that job with Sean Payton is you got Russell Wilson who cost a lot to get,
Woo.
and you paid. So you got double whammy by one guy, and a lot of assets been thrown at just him alone that pretty
Yeah,
much puts you in strain as a franchise. But if there's any guy that can do it out of any of these coaches that were on the market, I think Sean Payton for sure would be smart enough to make sure that he can do it. Unfortunately, you got to see Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes for 4 year games,
yeah.
2 apiece. So have fun with that.
Yep. And I mean, Russ wanted Sean Payton. He was reaching out trying to recruit him. So we're gonna
Because
see.
Russ knows.
Yeah.
Russ knows on what type of coach that Sean Payton is and what he can possibly be. There's no way this situation even goes down without Russ and Sean even meeting and having a conversation.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like Russ. I hope Russ is able to get back to and to be successful like we know him to be, because you get Sean Payton there and it don't work in the first year or two. Yikes! I don't know.
I will say this: there needs to be immediate results from Russell Wilson.
Immediate.
Immediate.
What's immediate? Just
As
numbers or playoffs?
I'm talking about by week 8. If you still playing like you was in 2022, 2023, I don't give a damn how much you cost. I'm going to bring in somebody. Well, first of all,
Ripken?
I think Sean's going to come in with a backup anyway. I don't know if he's going to stick with Ripken, but I think he's going to have a quarterback that he has scouted and he trusts, and he's going to bring in there and have as a contingency plan, just in case Russ ain't it. Because my thing is, if you in week 8, you still thinking you a cook, and I told your ass to be a host, yeah, okay,
Sneaking in the kitchen and shit.
yeah, what you doing?
Playing with
Yeah.
the seasonings and shit.
Yeah,
Boy, you back out there with the menus. If you don't get up out there, boy,
you better get your ass back out there, clean the menus, man, like I asked you to, and look pretty. That's it.
Hey man, hey, what they got their guy, man. They got their guy in Shine, and we're gonna see. The first task they got up. I know the Senior Bowl just happened, and then the draft is gonna be the next thing that comes up. So we, like you said, they gotta hit on those draft picks that they have, and that's right.
Yeah, let's ride.
Let's ride. And speaking of another team that got their guy, man, the Houston Texans.
I actually like this one, man.
They signed D'Amico Ryans to a 6-year deal. Mara, you just said you like the move. What about the move do you like here, bro?
Well, obviously D'Amico Ryans, a former player of the NFL, played for the Houston Texans, so he has ties back to the actual organization in general. His wife's from Houston, so there's connections and dots that connected that make sense why he should go back and be the coach there. The reason why I like it is because you look at what Robert Saleh, who was the previous defensive coordinator in San Francisco under Kyle Shanahan, goes to New York, which was in the same situation as Houston Texans is, a team that's at the bottom, and turns it around and has him, 2 years later, knocking on the door of being a playoff team. Yeah, being a playoff contender. So, hey, why not have D'Amico Ryans have the same effect, go in there, change the culture of a really bad losing franchise, have been doing a lot of losing over the last, 3, 4, 5 years, and start rebuilding the culture. And hopefully within 2 to 3 years, he has that team knocking on the door at playoff contentions. But to me, this is a chance for a clean slate, as in fresh start, new coach, and we're going to give this guy a lot of things to pretty
Succeed.
much, yeah, to put his mold on it because, man, they got like 11 picks in the draft. They're going to have a boatload of money to pay certain free agents if they decide to come down there. But the only knock I got against his job is that D'Amico Ryans is going to have to do a lot of damage control because this franchise has shitted on two previous black coaches before him. And there's going to be a lot of damage control that he's going to have to do and make a lot of players feel secure that they're going to the right organization because that's a bad look on that team. That's a bad look on that franchise.
So that's my worry, right? So when I saw the hire, of course, that my team is in a division, so I'm very familiar with D'Amico Ryans as a player.
Beast.
Yeah, he was nice as a linebacker when he was with the Texans. Just seeing the recent patterns of the Texans, like you said, when it came to the African American coaches, to the black coaches, man, I'm just wondering if he's going. Yes, they gave him a 6-year deal, but is he going to be allowed the time to get that team to where it needs to be? Like you just mentioned, they got some pieces. They got Damian Pierce on the offense. They
Nice
got
running back too.
nice running back. They got John Michie, who is out currently right now. He's dealing with a medical issue, but should hopefully be back this coming season. You got 11 picks in the draft. You got money. So are they going to give him the time to be able to build this team? I hope they give him the time. That's the only thing that scares me. Like you said, I like that he got the opportunity. He actually had the opportunity to go to Minnesota last year, but he turned down a second interview to come back with the 49ers. I mean, I get it. You know, wifey from Houston, wifey say has a big impact, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure she was ecstatic. But me personally, I probably would have took the Minnesota job because you got a black GM over there too, and you're off to a better start, I should say. You already have a team that's pretty much built. You know what I'm saying? You have to make a few
and have Mr. Gritty. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got
give me Mr. Gritty, dog.
That's why I would have taken the Minnesota job first. But I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? He was a first year. That was his first first time being offered a head coach position. He turned it down. But he's got his work cut out. Houston definitely can make some noise. I think he's got to hit on these picks. I think this is the first part of his job is to make sure he, out of these 11 picks, he got to at least hit on at least 7 of these joints. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to start with pick number 2, quarterback.
They got to get on that one. You got to get
that one. So you going CJ Stroud or you going Bryce Young? John Michie played with Bryce Young, so you going with that? But I'm going with CJ Stroud.
Man, seeing what CJ Stroud did against that game against Georgia.
That's why I'm going with CJ Stroud. And he's bigger than Bryce Young, folks.
Yeah. CJ Stroud will give you he kind of gives me Justin Fields vibes. If that makes sense. And then Bryce Young, don't get me wrong, I do like what he can do. And he's going to be the more probably more pure passer out of the two of them. But in this league, you got to be a quarterback that can
mobile, man.
You got to be mobile. You got to be able to move. I know Bryce Young can move, but if you saw what Justin Fields did with virtually no O-line,
he flipped the switch this year, bro. Like
with literally no O-line, like.
And no wide receivers and no nothing. Like all he has is David Montgomery. They traded for Claypool and he still ain't get the ball.
You gotta get you a quarterback that can throw the ball and can get his ass out of trouble when his O-line it leaves him up to dry. So look, I'm with you. I would definitely go CJ Stroud because anytime you go against premier competition in a very high pressured playoff game like he did against Georgia. And not only did you show up, you showed the hell out. Like literally, like
Yeah.
if he doesn't perform like that, Ohio State's not even in that game. So I would definitely go with
Definitely.
CJ Stroud. So um,
Yeah. But I
I
mean,
that's probably one of those things that's why I like about this hire. It gives they're going to give D'Amico Ryan his chance to succeed here. I'm
alright.
minimum 3 years before they start thinking about firing
I
him.
was going to
If
say the over under. What's it going over under 3? All
yeah,
right, we gonna put the over under 3. I mean, I'm happy for D'Amico. I hope he has success. Not too much success. I mean, I want him to have success. My team's in that division, but
of course.
I think he can do kind of like what Peterson did with Jacksonville. I think he can come in there, he can put his mark on that team and help hopefully be in a position to make the playoffs or just I mean, they only had 3 wins this year. So I mean you get 5 to 7, you're moving in the
Shit,
right
that's
direction.
already an upgrade.
So exactly. So shout out to D'Amico Ryans, man, for getting that opportunity. Definitely wish you much success, and I look forward to seeing you twice a year, my boy. So shout out to him. And last but not least, um, your boy. We spoke about the Chargers as they exited the playoffs last year. They didn't get rid of Staley. They actually got rid of their offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I know. They somehow, some way kept him. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it. Yeah. But because if that had been
Oh yeah, I know Double
never
J.
mind. Yeah, never mind. But they signed former offensive coordinator from Dallas, Kellen Moore, bruh.
Mm.
What's your thought? Like, okay, I got questions on this one right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was it Kellen Moore or was it Dak? Like, it couldn't be Kellen Moore. Like, I'm trying to figure out why they parted ways. Like, this offense has been pretty good with Kellen Moore at the offensive coordinator. So
Been
was
pretty
Kellen
efficient.
Moore? Yeah, they've been. I'm gonna run the numbers down a little bit, but they've been pretty efficient. They've been like a top tier offense, top
In
five,
the
top
last
6
3 years,
offense
yeah.
in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So was Kellen Moore the fall guy for the playoff
He was a fall guy.
thing?
He was a
Okay,
fall guy.
I just want to ask.
Everybody needs a fall guy.
Okay.
Because who are you going to fall upon? You're either going to fall upon the coordinator who probably costs you maybe a couple of million a year, or you're going to fall on the fall guy who's your quarterback that you just don't want to admit that he ain't it, and
But
just don't want to
they
say.
said he could be the quarterback there for the next 10 to 15 years. That's what Steve
Yeah,
and Jerry said.
because they already paid him. Okay.
Yeah.
they paid him a
That
lot of
don't mean
money.
you got to keep him though. Hey.
Jerry is gonna make sure that he gets his return on investment, and he's gonna make sure that Dak Prescott, even if he don't win the Super Bowl, you gonna take us, damn it, to the playoffs and keep making my franchise money along the way, because we are America's team. And
not no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But we sell jerseys. People know us worldwide, so we gonna keep using you until your contract is up.
Okay.
But look,
what's your thoughts on this on Kellen Moore to the Chargers, man?
I won't be surprised if Kellen Moore has that offense of the Chargers in the top 5. And the reason why I won't be surprised is because you look at what he was able to do with the Dallas offense and look at those pieces, which is not a bad pieces that Dallas has on the offensive side. Now go look at the Chargers. Oh, you telling me I got 2 wide receivers who are built 6'3", 6'4", and Keenan Allen, who's probably one of the premier route runners in the league. You got Mike Williams, who's one of the premier mismatches in the league.
Yes, sir.
Then you're gonna give me Austin Eckler, who's a Swiss Army knife in the running back position. Oh, I happen to have one of the best, probably talented prospects at quarterback in Justin Herbert. I think I got some good weapons on my offense who I can probably find a way to draw up some good damn plays for. So is it an upgrade? It's a slight upgrade from the Dallas offense, just because of the weapons that you have. Yeah. team wise, maybe the Chargers might not be as talented as Dallas. I wouldn't say Dallas and the Chargers are too far off from each other to begin with, anyway.
Well, I'll
Talent
say this.
wise,
I think Dallas's offensive line plays a is what is better than the Chargers. I think like they're probably similar to same positions, skill of the playmaker positions. Wide receiver, you had Gallup, you had CD Lamb, you got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen.
yeah.
Running back, you got Austin Eckler, you got Pollard, and you got Zeke. So yeah, I mean, quarterback, you got Justin Herbert, like you just mentioned. But I think that offensive line is what makes a difference. In Dallas's offensive line is one of the best
That's fair.
offensive lines. That I mean, it's been top 5, top 10, over the last few seasons. But I think this is one of the sneakiest picks, like signings in the NFL. Like you mentioned, that offense was nowhere near what it should have been with Joe Lombardi. And I just think seeing what Kellen Moore did with Dallas, it was definitely underachieved. When I looked at the numbers, I said, "Good God, this is terrible."
And Brandon Staley's a defensive-minded coach anyway, so you it's about time that you get a offensive-minded person in there.
Shit, man, I looked at this shit. I said, "Damn!" Just the third down percentage, the 3-and-out percentages, the numbers in the red zone. I mean, it just was bad, man. Yeah. But I think this is a sneaky good move, man. I think, like you said, I think Jay Herb and them boys, I think they're going to put together some things. Just seeing what he did in Dallas. And seeing what the potential, like you said, the roster they got in LA, I think this is gonna be. I think it's a sneaky good move that nobody's really talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll work out for both parties, the Chargers and Kellen Moore. Because hell, he wasn't able to lock down the head coaching job this year. Right. So definitely uses as a resume builder to be like, hey. I didn't done great things in Dallas with that offense. Now look what I'm gonna do in LA, and why wouldn't you want me as your head coach? So he'll definitely be using this as a stepping stone as well.
And why wouldn't you want to be in LA out of all places?
Shit, beautiful.
Hey G, man, I'm gonna talk to G and see what they're gonna do at offensive coordinator. They said Mike McCarthy's gonna call plays. So.
Oh Lord.
Get G's take when he comes back, man. I get G's take when he comes back on that shit.
If G ain't scared, then he ain't being realistic. Because I would be damn scared when Mike McCarthy with full offensive autonomy to my team. I would be very scared. Yeah,
very, very. But hey, my team ain't making it. I'm out of it right now till next year. Let's go. We got the NFL Honors Awards coming up, man. There's a few categories that I wanted to pick your mind, get your thoughts on, man. See who you think or who's gonna win these awards. Let's start with the Defensive Rookie of the Year nominees. We got Sauce Gardner.
Stop right there.
Does it?
Stop right there. Keep it moving.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go.
Sauce and sauce.
I like sauce. I do. I like sauce, man. I like hot sauce. But I like Sauce. He was one of my favorite picks coming out the draft. But when I look at Tariq Woolen's numbers, bruh.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute.
It's cute. It's cute. And he got to the playoffs. I know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, keep it moving, Jay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so you Sauce Gardner. I'm going with Tariq Woolen. All right. All right, no worries.
Hey, I'm just saying, look.
I know Sauce, he got some of the he guarded some of
the numbers really won't be there for Sauce. But I'm just saying, anytime that a rookie cornerback gets the same treatment that they gave to Darrelle Revis and Deion Primetime Sanders when they refused to throw it on his side of the ball, I don't care if your numbers ain't there. Your impact is there.
Yeah.
Your respect is there. Cats is not throwing on your side of the ball because they know. They say, yo, we not going to complete nothing over there. And I'd be damned if I tried to chase this motor scooter down on a pick six. I ain't
gonna. I like Sauce. I'm not gonna be mad if he wins, but I feel you though. I didn't see a lot of Jets games as I wanted to see because their offense was just so bad. It was a turnoff, but I did try to keep up with Sauce as much as I can. But just for numbers' sake, I like Tariq Woolen I like his numbers, but I
Yeah.
think it'll be between those two. Aiden Hutchinson had some nice numbers too. The
Yeah.
nominees goes Sauce Gardner, Aiden Hutchinson, Kevon Thibodeau, and Tyreek Woolen. Those are your 4 nominees for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Mars going with Sauce. I'm going with Tyreek. Offensive Rookie of the Year. They got Purdy, Kenneth Walker the third, or Garrett Wilson's numbers surprised me for that. As bad as that offense was, his numbers surprised me.
Me personally, I'm gonna go with Garrett Wilson. That's just me personally. Because like you said, he eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards. I can't remember his receptions, but he put up good numbers
83.
for 83, which is phenomenal for a rookie. I think because he put
Last year,
83 catches, 1,100 receiving yards, and I think about what 6 or 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 4.
Yeah.
4.
Maybe you will hope the touchdown amount would be up a little bit more, so probably roughly about 7 or 8. But regardless, like you said, that offense was putrid. So what he did is yeah, for real, Dookie.
I looked at it, I said Garrett Wilson. I was like, oh, okay. That offense.
To me, it's disrespectful to put a rookie like Brock Purdy in there who only played, I think, maybe 6 or
9. He played like 9 games.
Yeah, including playoffs, but regular season, I think probably played 6 or 7 games, and that's not even half of the season. But I get it. He did well. He did his job on a good team, and the boat didn't sink once he got in. So I know in the NFL, they're going to give it to Brock Purdy. But me personally, I would go with Garrett Wilson though.
I'm gonna go. I wanted to see Kenneth Walker get it, man. I want to see Kenneth Walker.
That's a good choice too. Yeah, he balled out. He balled out.
He had 228 carries, 1,050 yards, 9 touchdowns. I would like to see him get it. Then I'm like you. If he doesn't get it, I would like to see Garrett Wilson. But I'm like you. It'll probably go to Purdy.
Yeah,
just because of the success he's recently had. All right.
They're gonna go cuckoo for Purdy.
Yes, sir. Now let me ask you this. This one is a little tougher, man. Comeback player of the year. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, and Geno Smith, bruh. Who you got?
I like all 3 candidates. The thing is, I've seen candidates win because of coming back from injuries before, and in this case, you got Saquon and CMC, who both coming back from injury-plagued careers, which is good. They was both able to make an impact on both the teams and actually, stay healthy for a good majority of the season and rarely miss time. So, hey, kudos to both of them having a good comeback season. But this one, to me, is a no-brainer. I think you got to go Geno.
Write me off.
They wrote him all. He ain't right back. So I mean, you're talking about a guy that was literally wrote off. When's the last time anybody even thought about Geno?
Bruh, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. When I think everybody was in the same boat when Russ got traded, and they were like Geno Smith and Drew Lock were battling for the quarterback. Like Geno Smith, like like you said, people wrote him off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with you, bro. Like both Saquon, I think we kind of expected both Christian McCaffrey and Saquon to come back and do what they do, right? That's what we've known them to do. So I'm not surprised at what these guys do. I love their seasons. They both came back, like you said. They both put up numbers for their teams. But Geno Smith, man, like nobody thought he would do what he did. Bro, he had a quarterback passer rating of 100.9. Threw for 4,282 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, and got his team in the playoffs.
Balled out.
I'm with you. I'm rolling with Geno, man.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a difference between coming back from injury and having a shout out to my man Jay on the Man Down Sports Show, because he said, you're talking about a guy that had to get past the bust label. People had bust written on Geno. And for him to come back and literally ball out this year and literally take a team to the playoffs that nobody had penciled into the playoffs. Nobody.
At
If
all.
anybody said they had Seattle Seahawks penciled into the
You a liar.
playoffs, I'll show you a liar. All right. So look, Geno balled the hell out. Hey, to me, hands down, there's a no
Did his
brainer.
thing. I'm
Yeah.
with you, bro. I'm with you on that one, man. He deserves it. Well deserved, man. Shout out Geno, man. All right, man. Defensive player of the year, bro. Let me just state this right quick. I'm disappointed that Hassan Reddick is not in this category right here. I'm very
Agreed.
disappointed. Very
Agreed.
disappointed. NFL, you guys failed. Whoever was on that commission board on this NFL honorees, you failed because Hassan Reddick should have been on there. Not just because of what he did in the playoffs, but his numbers were there. He had 16 sacks in the regular season.
He balled out
So,
this year.
with that being said, Defensive Player of the Year, your nominees are Nick Bosa, your man Frank Clark, and Michael Parsons, bruh. Who you rolling with?
Hey, was it Chris or Frank? Because I think I saw last time I checked it was Chris, or was it Frank? I remember.
I think it's Frank.
Okay.
I went on the website and saw it was Frank.
Double check me, producer. But I do know this for sure. Between Bosa, who had I think like 19 sacks or something like that, 18 sacks this
18
year.
and a half, yeah.
Yeah. Dominant defense for sure. That was in San Francisco. He would definitely be my front runner.
Okay, it does say Chris Jones.
Okay, is it Chris?
I apologize.
No, I just wanted to double check for sure before I went full in on my take.
Wow.
The NFL, I won't be mad if they went with Nick Bosa, only because you can look at the case of both, all three guys. They both had dominant performances. The numbers are going to be not too far from each other. Obviously, with Micah coming from the outside, same with Nick coming out from the outside, and Chris Jones doing it from the inside. To me, that I would, and this is not me being a homer, I would go with Chris Jones, just because I think when you go and do as much damage as he does on the inside, you're talking about beating a center and a guard and a double team majority of the times.
Right.
And for you to be that dominant and get that amount of sacks, to me, shows how much you can wreck a game. Look at how Aaron Donald's been wrecking the game for the last 5 years. He's been Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. And this is just me being quite honest. If you take away Aaron Donald and literally and look at the numbers, Chris Jones is not too far behind Aaron Donald. So. But he just doesn't get the same recognition or love as much as Aaron Donald does, is because his Aaron Donald in front of him. So
it's Aaron Donald, and then it's like, I know you got my boy Jeffrey Simmons. You know what I'm saying?
I love Jeffrey Simmons. Oh my gosh, I love Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, like we got
Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, and I think Quentin Williams is going to be in that same grouping for the next few years as defensive tackles who won't get the love because there's a guy in LA that wears 99.
Yeah, I'm not. Aaron Donald. Jeez, I'm tripping. Aaron Donald. Yeah, Chris Jones had 15 and a half sacks, and just FYI. So what you talking about, man? He's definitely doing this thing.
That's pretty impressive from the inside, man.
Yeah, that is 15 and a half.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's pretty impressive.
I would like to see Chris Jones win it too. I would like to see him win it too. I know a lot of people are saying like Parsons' numbers could be up, but he drops back in coverage and things like that.
He does a lot for that Dallas defense.
Yeah, because like you said, he does so much that his numbers could be higher, but because of what he does, you know what I'm saying, his numbers are lower. So I wouldn't be mad if Parsons won it neither, but I like underdogs. You know what I'm saying? And I think Chris Jones is an underdog. Like you said, he doesn't get the recognition that he does because, when we think of Kansas City, we think of Mahomes.
That's the first person you think of. Yeah.
So you don't even think of anybody on. Even when y'all had Honey Badger, nobody was like, oh, it was Mahomes, which is fair, but you guys do have some gems on that defense. So,
facts.
All right, cool. All right. I think I know your take on who you got for MVP. Um,
But I will say this. I will say this. I can make a case on making Jalen Hurts the MVP because look at 2 games that he didn't play and how much that team missed him and how
okay.
valuable his his presence brings.
Yeah,
Because and this is not me being a conspiracy theorist. I don't think Jalen Hurts' shoulder is 100% because he was
it's not.
forced to play that Week 18 game because they didn't lock everything down with Gardner Minshew down in those 2 games that he played. And so you had to play in Week 18 because you needed to make sure you lock down the NFC East and you need to make sure you lock down the #1 seed.
Granted, Dallas shit the bed, but
They
yeah,
did. They
they
did.
shit the bed. Yeah,
But you didn't want to you didn't want to
you
leave
didn't want to
that door
chance
open.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And so that messes up his rehab program, all right, plan. Regardless of how many hits he took. So then you play him against the Giants. Then you play him against the 49ers. And it's not like, I'm not saying he looked bad, but Jalen Hurts didn't quite look
the
Jalen
same.
Hurts.
Yeah,
He didn't
because he
look
missed some.
MVP
He
like
missed some
he missed some
throws.
throws. Oh,
He
yes, he
missed some
did.
throws.
He
Yeah,
surely missed some throws.
he missed AJ deep. Boy,
Deep.
I
And
said,
and I'm talking
boy.
about AJ had guy straight toast.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, even some of the passes that were caught were just like,
Mm-hmm.
I think Devontae had to go down for a few of them. Like they weren't typical Jalen Hurts, football passes. They weren't on target. And he's a
Yeah.
pretty accurate quarterback in my
Yeah.
in my view. But yeah, I know I had it between Mahomes, Burrow, and Hurts. I think those three, like you said, plus what Jalen Hurts brings to the game, with
Yeah.
his legs. He had 13 touchdowns with his legs, 760
Mm-hmm.
yards on top of the 22 touchdowns he threw.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
like
would
you
have
said,
had I would have went Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, and then I would have stopped right there. I don't know why they
that's where it
had
is. That's where it stops
yeah.
right there.
Because I remember at one point they kept trying to throw Josh Allen in there, and
Nah,
they were going to sneak Justin Jefferson in there, and I wouldn't have been mad at that. Um,
he's yeah.
but yeah,
Um,
but
Justin Jefferson,
MVPs go to quarterbacks anyway. You want
quarterbacks,
to go get
man. Yeah, I hate it.
it.
I hate it, man. So, all right, man. Last one, bro. Coach of the year, man. Coach of the year. Who you got as your coach of the year?
I I've been going back and forth on this because I've been stuck between Dayball and Doug Peterson. Um, but I'm gonna go Brian Dayball just on off the fact that I mean you just literally he changed my perspective on Daniel Jones, man. I always thought Daniel Jones was a complete bum. I thought he was trash. And no, for real, I thought Daniel Jones was complete ass. And then you look at and then no, for real. Then you look at the formation and how this team is put together. They still really don't have an O line. So, but Brian Dable did not use that as an excuse to get the best production out of him or Saquon. So, he put him in the right position to be at least a non-win team and make the playoffs. Got a playoff victory over the Minnesota fraudulent Vikings, and look
and on the road.
on the road, yeah. So
On the road.
I can't dismiss what Brian Daboll did, and it's no coincidence that Daniel Jones got better and Josh Allen slightly regressed a little bit. It's no coincidence there.
Ooh,
Um,
good point.
so um, and as much as I love what Doug Peterson was able to do in such a short amount of time to change that
That's who I'm
atmosphere
going with.
of that toxicity in Jacksonville. But yeah, man, to
I'm
change
going with
to change your perspective on a quarterback who literally I thought was complete booty juice, and then at least can be a decent NFL quarterback. I mean, to me, that's proof, man. I'm gonna go with
I
Dayball.
think I'm gonna go Peterson for all the reasons you kind of just mentioned. He switched
Mm-hmm.
the atmosphere. I think he kind of reinstalled confidence in Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence,
Big time, big time.
because we all know what Doug Peterson was left with. What happened the year before with Urban Meyer. A lot of people were unhappy. I mean, he got a lot of role players, that came over that signed with Jacksonville, and you know kind of put him in position to shine. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When Christian Kirk signed that deal in Jacksonville, I didn't think he was gonna put up the numbers he did. You know what I'm saying? He put up numbers. Evan Ingram got his career revitalized down there in Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence took that next step. So
Big time.
I'm gonna go with Doug Peterson, just for all those reasons. And yeah, we're gonna see what goes from there. And uh, two last things. Are you watching the Pro Bowl this weekend? Or
Man, don't come on, Jay, man. Don't waste our time with this
I'm
shit.
all right. Are you walking any of the events? None of the events?
Jay.
Okay. All
Don't
right.
waste our time with this shit, man.
All right, next subject. Was a
NFL
guy
wasting
who
our
used
time
to,
with this shit. The hell wrong with y'all, NFL?
I know, man.
Flag
My
football.
son
Damn.
was watching the one of the events with the water balloons or some shit, man. I said, yeah, I'm gonna head downstairs.
That's some more Nickelodeon type shit.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here, man. NFL.
And I did catch. I think it was something where the coaches were supposed to get water or something dumped over them. It was confetti. I said, damn, they couldn't even get dumped by water. I left. I turned the shit off. Or I walked away.
That ain't some damn Harlem Globetrotters, goddamn Washington Generals type bullshit. What it? NFL, the hell, man.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, we had a guy who wasn't a Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler. I don't know if you all have seen the clip. Recently, it's been viral. If y'all don't know, I've been kind of throwing jabs at it a few times earlier. Arian Foster was on a podcast, and
this motherfucker.
He recently stated that the NFL is rigged, and that he received the script before the season started. Go ahead, Mar. You shaking your head, man. Just
and I'm mad that Alvin Kamara did a damn retweet talking about I was mad at the script that I got and almost left the building. I hope you was joking like a mother. Like, come on.
Everybody was joking, man. Everybody frying them, from current players to former players. I mean, everybody's getting on them. RG3 got on them. Dan Orlovsky got on them. I mean, everybody. It's crazy because even in the interview, somebody was like, so when you got the script and you saw that in 2015 and that your career is over, what was your response? And I hate it because I wanted to hear his response, but the clip cut. And I was trying to find the interview to hear what he responded. But go ahead, man. What's your thought on this, man?
Oh my gosh. Look, do I believe that the NFL makes certain rules and regulations to get certain outcomes? Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, the NFL is legally licensed as an entertainment entity. I mean, so what that tells me is that they operate in the same function as to create certain things that generates entertainment, and therefore it generates money. And so therefore they treat it like it's what, a WWE, AEW type professional wrestling situation. So that's where I'm at with that. Now, to say it's fully script to the fact that you're getting a script like it's a Hollywood movie. Come on, Arian Foster. Like, I know you retired and you probably doing all types of drugs and shit that you know, trying to cope for the pain of your NFL career that you did. But if this was the case, I'm pretty sure we would hear a lot of people coming out and saying that aren't in the league anymore. I've not heard anybody else say this. At all. I'm Arian. Man, you gotta present some real hardcore straight evidence to even back up any of this shit that you're saying. Other than that, you just look like a conspiracy bitter old dude that used to play.
I mean, I don't follow Arian Foster, but I ain't really heard shit from Arian Foster since he played. And this is like the first time I even heard him speak out on a podcast of this, you know, and for him to come out and say this, just like, bruh, like, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of us feel like sometimes the refs may be in on it, or, you know what I'm saying? We always say Vegas, right? Like Vegas. We make those statements, but like you said, man, like to get a physical script that he claims he got, because they asked him, did he review the script before the season or was it before the games? And he was like, yeah, I received the script before and read it before the games and all this. I'm like, dog, like, come on, bro. It just is. It's just not a good look, man. Like that is bad. And I mean, we got sports documentaries out now that kind of show where you have a referee, that you know
Yeah.
may do things, have
Tim
caught
Donahue did his thing.
Donahue. We got the
Oh.
current referee right now that people are getting on in Boston. When the Celtics play, they like 31-2. The one who missed the call Saturday against the Lakers and the Celtics. But it's just like to get a script area for like you took it like from a 5 to a 10, like real quick, like bro, like a script, bro, like like dog. I just heard it. I was like, y'all got my tripping. Arian Foster, man,
Hey, man.
like you said, bro, just present the evidence, man. If you got a script from the NFL,
I need to see this evidence.
I need
like,
please post it. Please post it. Please.
You're gonna have to drop some serious nuggets of evidence to really even convince me to.
I need to see the script because back in them days, when it was Arian Foster and Andre Johnson and all them boys was
they was
rolling. Yeah.
So the script was definitely in your favor. If it was script, Joe.
My team, the script, they was fucking trash. We had a first round draft pick, man. A script. Lost his damn mind, man. Man.
Hey,
all right, man.
Whatever you on Arian Foster, just let me know. I need to make sure I avoid that shit.
That ain't weed. That ain't weed, bro. That's something different. No, we don't know. How Cat Williams say it'll give you the munchies. Man, you might pass out. You may think he dead, but he ain't dead. He gonna wake up hungry enough to eat up everything in your kitchen. Nah, where that's something a little different.
That's some other shit.
That's a little different. Yeah, that's a little different, man. But look, man, it's been great, man. We're gonna wrap this on up, man. I appreciate you coming through, bro.
Always.
Once again, let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah. You can always find me, the Wildcard Mar. You can catch me on my personal Twitter at KC Wildcard Mar or at my personal Instagram, Wildcard Mar. And you can always catch me on the IOW Sports Show every Monday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on IOW Sports Network on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and of course the Twitter, IOW Sports War. And hey, you never know when I might pop up and do this BMF collab with the 613 Faye. You never know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't forget, man, he got a sports group on Facebook, IOW Sports Group on Facebook as well. As well as we do the Man Cave Sports Group on Facebook. Come through, talk your shit respectfully. You know what I'm saying? On both
respectfully,
platforms.
Keywords, respectfully,
because it'll be a little a little salty and a little emotional.
Ain't never scared to get the boot.
Yeah. Again, you can find our brothers in the Four Corners of Wrestling. They got a wrestling group as well. Fours Up, Quads Down. Check them out on Facebook as well. You can catch us. You can catch the network, 613 Faye Productions on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook at 613 Faye Productions, on IG at 613 Faye DMV, Twitter 613 Faye. Catch us on all. We everywhere. You looking for us? We everywhere. You dig? We got content for everybody. Make sure y'all check our Sisters of Facts out. They drop Fridays, Facts Fridays. Shout out to them. Find me, Jae Jones, on Twitter, Facebook, IG, TikTok, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? TikToking it up, you know what I'm saying? Catch me over there, man. Check us out. Appreciate it. G Money be back next week. And we're gonna have some more takes. Super Bowl weekend coming up next week. But until then, y'all be easy. Shut the door on their ass.
Before you guys go, I just want to let you know you did a great job reading the script.
Script has been read, complete.